Hey guys, Chito Fadings here for the last chapter in Module 2 of the Anamorphic Cookbook. In the previous chapters, I covered the difference between anamorphic lenses and adapters, also between cine lenses and consumer lenses. We talked about focusing systems and squeeze factors, and if you missed any of it, there's a handy playlist with it all. At the end of this video, I got an info on an upcoming live stream with Dan Keynes and Forrest Schultz to answer questions about this module, so don't close this tab before checking it out. With that out of the way, it would be irresponsible to entirely overlook the possibility of renting anamorphic lenses as opposed to owning all of your gear. A lot of successful DPs and most big budget projects favor renting as it's a smaller cost than owning super expensive sets of lenses that will only see use a handful of times a month, if that much. Plus, rental houses take care of servicing and keeping all the equipment in tip-top shape. The situation is a bit different when your budget is not as accommodating. Sometimes you have to deal with either no budget or severely limited ones. So to ensure the quality of the film, you bring your own equipment included in your rate. And I can tell you, not many people out there are including anamorphics in their kits. A lot of us, myself included, deal with small budgets all the time. I've lost count of the times I had to choose between budgeting for a better team or for better gear. So owning gear and bringing it into the mix simplifies things, besides making you a more interesting option when compared to other shooters that don't own any equipment. Or even owning an anamorphic setup and marketing that will put you very much ahead of someone who doesn't shoot scope. After you're past the stage of working with people that have zero budget, the advantage of owning your gear is that you keep growing how much you get for your day rate, since now it includes not only your expertise and skill, but also a camera or a lens kit. If you have lots of personal projects or you constantly double as a director and cinematographer, then you're probably better off owning your gear rather than renting every time you want to shoot something. If your anamorphic setup isn't crazy expensive, like what we're working towards here, soon enough you'll have it pay itself off in rentals along with your day rate, and everything after that is profit. Another peculiar situation that can force you to own gear is if you live away from film hubs. This is a reality I dealt with when I got started with anamorphics and lived in Brazil. It's a thing for studios and shooters located in small towns and small countries. Sometimes there's no possibility of renting. Not because you can't afford it, but because there's nothing to be rented. Then you're only gonna see a scope if you own one. That will make you pretty special among the clients too. The downside of owning gear is your capital is tied up in equipment. If you need quick liquidity, you might take a hit from selling in a rush. You also should factor in maintenance costs. After all, even the best gear needs some attention once in a while. Summarizing my compelling points about owning gear, there's a bigger initial investment than renting for a short period, but the financial returns will quickly surpass that and save you lots of time by not having to get quotes for rentals, plus pick up and drop off. If you have a solid setup, you can even rent it out to other shooters in your area and make a buck without even going on set. Just make sure to get insurance, yeah? With that said, should you ever rent lenses? I'd say yes if you're looking for a particular look that your rig is not tailored to deliver, or if your rig isn't fully ready and you have little prep time. If you really need wide-angle shots like 32mm or wider with 2x squeeze, rent and save yourself the nightmare. I'd also rent if the project is a high-pressure shoot with a big budget and a very experienced team. Here I'm making that call based on the remote possibility that something goes wrong or egos start to flare up. If someone decides that your equipment is getting in the way of the shoot, that's real bad. But no one is going to blame Atlas if their lenses can't do some impossibly wide shot. Make sense? It is what it is, and sometimes you have to dodge the blame train. Renting more expensive anamorphics is also a way to get acquainted to different optical traits and pursue ways of adding those traits to your own setup. I have to admit, I don't have a ton of experience with renting, and I'd love to hear your thoughts about this subject too. So leave a comment below. I want to thank Atlas Lensco for the support in bringing these two modules to life. As a matter of fact, we still have a live stream coming up with Atlas's founders, Dan Keynes and Forrest Schultz, focused on the subjects of this second module. The stream is open for anyone to watch, but I'll only be taking questions from members of the channel. Becoming a member will also unlock extra content of the cookbook and other perks at $3 a month. Check the join button below and stay tuned for the stream. With this, we're done on module 2. The next module is about cameras and how they can influence your shooting process. Before you go, consider subscribing to the channel, and I hope you enjoy these videos and that you have a great week. See you soon. Chute Verhardings out.